So yeah, I had bought. So they had a deal on Amazon. It was eBay. I saw it on Brad's deals, and it was for the Hanes. It wasn't the Comfort waist brand. They're like old man draws, really, because I got like a bunch of like waist. Yeah, I got a bunch of slack in the back, so like it's like a little draft when I try to go to bed because I ain't got no ass. You know what I'm saying?
Did you ever do your ancestry?
Nah, it probably got some Spaniard in
there.
It's that Mexican. Man, because it's loose in the back, so it's like a little diaper.
Like a diaper?
My shit.
This conversation's about to get weird.
I spent $22.
Oh,
whoa! 2 packs.
Oh, you went too hard.
I did. You're right. You went too hard. I didn't want to miss the deal. If they were good, you know,
that's a swing and a miss.
Anyway,
what size did you get?
I got a
extra medium,
extra large. So I should have, I've lost a little weight. I should have went with an L.
Yeah, you took it.
I took it. Yeah. Hey-oh.
Insert double pop here.
Nah.
No?
Hey.
Flag that.
He the one be popping.
I know.
It's the Vexed Intellects. Hey, Vexed Intellects. Hey, Vexed Intellects. Hey. Yeah.
Taking over your set.
Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh, y'all ain't like my
no.
trip? I was riding.
Yo, you can tell he been practicing.
He been waiting.
Like, you can tell he been waiting to get
Y'all
the
been
board.
saying that all day. Everything y'all done today has been freestyle.
You've been practicing that in the mirror.
That was freestyle. That was all freestyle.
No, from the flow that you normally have.
I know, I switched it up.
In the licks. Coming with and then all of a sudden you do that. No, man, you was working on that.
No, I promise you, I put that on everything I love. I would never do a freestyle to pre-prep, by the way. That's sacrilege.
This week's episode of Vexed Intellect. That was aggressive. Vexed Intellect.
It was aggressive. Can I get off mute, please?
All right. It's Prince, man. Brunch boy. Your girl likes brunch, so do I. AKA Little Booties Matter.
Wow.
Whoa.
The add-on. This is Jared Dam. I ain't got no ass either, so I feel you.
Whoa. Yeah. What is this?
What is this?
This is James in St. James, and I will not comment.
I was just about to say,
wow. What have you guys been up to?
This should give my shit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nah, this your boy T.O. And I will not comment on my ass.
Super producer Kyle.
No.
Yeah. And we, the Vexed Intellects. Gentlemen, how the fuck are you?
Yep, that's how we feeling.
Right.
Yep.
I don't know, right?
I don't know.
Good deal.
I feel a little weird. I'll just talk about this.
It's a safe space, man. If we can't talk about our asses or lack thereof, we should be able to come to our brothers.
I feel it.
Yeah, man. I
don't feel the ass. I just feel it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You said a little bit too.
No, I just want to be clear. I'm not feeling that. I get what you're saying.
How airy, breathy ass air.
How we feeling?
You want to air?
How we feeling?
I'm good.
Okay. Good deal.
I'm doing great.
We're
having fun tonight, y'all. I just want to say that clearly.
And we are the Vexed Intellects once again. Today's date is March 12th, 2020. And our word of the day is... Yep, I fucked up. I fucked up. Cacoethus.
Cacoethus.
Cat gonna eat this?
Wow.
Whoa. Wow.
Cacoethus.
Okay. That could be kind of sexy.
It is a noun.
Don't eat this, Gav.
I don't know about that.
Change your sensation.
Your cat.
Trying to drown. An irresistible urge or mania. Cacoethus.
The cat is going.
Yeah, the cat is gonna eat this. Yeah.
Wow. I had a backup word of the day.
What you got?
Disenfranchisement. The state of being deprived a right or privilege. We typically reference this when we talk about the right to vote in the U.S.
All right.
You came with the friendly one with that. I don't understand. Okay.
Don't hate on me.
All right. I got a couple fun facts for March 12th. On this day in 1970, the U.S. officially lowered the voting age from 21 to 18. Figured that was pretty cool. And lastly, on this day in 2019, last year, dozens were charged in the U.S. college admission scandal by U.S. federal prosecutors. Aunt Becky is still awaiting trial. Felicity Huffman has already served her time. So, but yeah,
2 weeks, 10 days.
yeah,
Back on the streets, huh?
absolutely. Get it over with. Aunt Becky going to prison camp. There's a train being ran. All right, that is a great time to get into.
Well, you know what, y'all? We tried to avoid it this week, but it's coronavirus mania, so we got to talk about some points on that. Only you can do that joke. Only you. Yeah, we can't touch that. In the United States, it's up to 1,000 people affected, right around that number, and 29 dead. Now, we got a slew of things that has happened as a result of it. College and universities, such as Harvard and Ohio State, are closing in-person classes. The South by Southwest Festival got canceled. Coachella is being postponed to October. Italy's on lockdown. Corona affecting the stock market. And then, and even some of the crazier stories that we'll get into. But first, I want to kind of get your reaction on some of the things that's taking place this week as a result of the coronavirus.
Well, it was only a matter of time. There's a lot of instability, and a lot of folks are very unsure on what the corona is going to do. So, a lot of fear.
Yeah.
We failed to. You can also bullet point that Italy done basically shut the whole country down.
Yeah.
Like that's where we at.
Stay in your house. Keep that shit to yourself.
And while that's going on, I read somewhere they don't have to pay mortgage.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Doing it right.
Did you guys see that New Rochelle, New York?
New York.
Oh yeah.
They're quarantining the whole city
Really?
Yeah.
with the National Guard. They're going to have a 1 mile radius around the city.
Dude.
It's a contamination area. With the mayor saying.
Yep.
Wow.
Controlled access.
Some
I didn't see that.
I am legend type shit. Right there.
It is very much so.
Now, before we move on, I do want to get your thoughts on one particular news story that's related to the disease. There are London researchers that are paying people a whopping $5,000 to be injected with the coronavirus. I want to kind of get your reaction on that because that sounds crazy as hell.
So it's actually 4,500. So it's less than 5,000. But yeah, for some people that's probably a lot of money. But you're basically allowing them to pay you to be a guinea pig.
Yeah.
With some shit that you don't know how that's going to affect you. And they might try some shit, under the guise of trying to find
Research.
Yeah, so they might give you some shit that can't be cured. Like, oh, okay, that didn't work.
Yeah.
So now you got some shit that you can't do nothing about
Right.
for $5,000.
It's crazy. Like when I think about it, it's reminds me of the movie I Am Legend, because in I Am Legend, there was a cure for cancer or something like that. They gave him a cure for cancer. gave it to everybody, they turned into zombies. And so I'm not going to be too quick to take this vaccine if it comes out too fast. I'm gonna give it a few months and see what happens.
Yeah. Like an Apple update.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Gotta validate and verify that thing first.
Yeah.
4.
All right. Super Tuesday 2 kind of just passed, and the way it's looking, looks like Biden has won Mississippi, Missouri, and Michigan. Well, Michigan had like 125 delegates on the line. So at this point, is it just over for Sanders?
It was over with the initial Super Tuesday when everybody came out and endorsed him, and even this week, Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, all of these sworn enemies of him at the beginning. That's just the primary. It is what it is. You get nasty when you're jockeying for position, but yes, over, man. The establishment is behind Biden, so that's who they want, and he's been incoherent. He's been, it's all bad.
Argumentative.
Yeah, Detroit today got arguing with the factory worker over gun rights. So that's who they want. That's what they're gonna get, and I personally think they're gonna take that L.
Yeah.
Deservedly so.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna take it. They would take an L either way. That's how I feel, because people just don't understand socialism. First and second, is he a true socialist? Probably not. But what I'd also say is that in order for the party to have a real chance, they kind of have to. They got to do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you thinking that Biden gonna take the L, or do you think people will actually rally behind Biden even if they don't necessarily agree with him, just to keep Trump out of office?
Well, when you look at the exit polls and you look at the demographics of the people that are voting for him, it's a lot of black and brown people. It's a lot of elder people, and the youth. For all of that energy that you see on socials, they're not coming out. They're not coming out. Super Tuesday, they just didn't come out to vote. So for all that shit, another example of how Twitter is just a microcosm of real life, of what it really is. You see so many companies making decisions based off of Twitter outrage and all of this shit. It's just a loud minority.
Yeah.
And they not really about that action. It's just performative social justice for real. They're not for real. Biden is actually getting a lot of votes, even with his bad showing in the debates, even with
That's why
all of the cognitive blips at speeches and everything. Like, he's still turning them out. So, hey, people have spoken.
And then when you have 20 candidates, it's easy. I think it's easier to stand out when you've got track record. It's like when you were in the vice president for 8 years.
You're
familiar. Yep. Known quantity, especially with all these new folks.
Vice president of the previous regime. So with everything, all the craziness that we got now, I think it could have something to do with people wanting some sense of what they deem normalcy.
Yeah.
So he's familiar, like you say. He's comfort food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That may not win the election, though.
3.
He won't.
All right. Did y'all see that video with the baby and that young lady? I don't want to. If you hadn't, the baby got into an altercation. We'll just say it like that. The video was. It's all over socials. It's not a great visual, but he ended up striking a young woman very hard in the face. That young lady has now retained a lawyer. So
Shocker.
Tyronisha Laws.
As she should, by the way.
She retained Morgan & Morgan and Associates.
Of course.
Oh, Morgan.
Yeah, Morgan & Morgan.
For the people.
And so after she called the number on the commercial, she got him, and They are eager to speak to Mr. Kirk. They the baby has since apologized on Instagram.
Oh, cool.
They ain't having that.
Not very smart.
Yeah, y'all thought
He
so.
got it.
Even did a skit with Michael Blackson reenacting the event. So, yeah, man. Your boy gotta stop putting his hands on people. I feel him. Somebody hit you in the face. That's instinct. That's reaction. Somebody hit you in the face with a camera that got a flashlight on it. So not only you hit me in the face, I turn around to see what it was, and I'm flashed in the face. So he'll probably argue that I couldn't see that it was a woman. I just saw that I got hit and I swung. And he actually offered $10K to anybody that got another angle of what happened. So it would be cheaper to pay somebody $10K than to pay $1 million or whatever she's going to be looking to get.
Hey, you're going to have to come off a couple $100,000, I bet.
Minimum, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he gotta chill out, man. It's these incidents piling up.
Yeah.
So it's like that ain't a good look, and it's a female now. Man,
Female is a bad word.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A young lady.
Woman. Yeah.
Woman.
Yeah. A young queen.
All right, the the Arizona House of Representatives has passed a new bill that if it was decided,
See Anisha. What was her name? Sorry.
Tyranisha Law.
Queen
what's funny,
Tyranisha.
though? He got that name right.
I know it was crazy, but I was practicing this. Y'all were like talking like, never mind. Anyway, behind the scenes. Anyway, the Arizona House of Representatives
Nothing wrong with a little ratchet.
has passed a new bill that, if signed into law, would ban transgender female athletes from participating in school sports. It's called the Save the Woman Sports Act. A couple of representatives, have backed it, and after much debate, it at least passed in the House of Representatives. This could be monumental for other states to sit there and also have, laws similar to this. So I just want to kind of get your thoughts. How do y'all feel about this? I know we kind of talked about it before in previous episodes.
Biological males that have transitioned to women that are competing in sporting events. And mind you, these are high school kids. So would you want your daughter in a wrestling match with a woman that was previously or born biologically with the testosterone levels, etc.?
My daughter?
Yes.
My daughter in me in wrestling. Oh, she be all right. Still cheer. Damn. But I get what you're saying.
Anyone else on the panel?
But not wrestling.
Oh,
No still cheering.
No.
High school.
Okay, right. That's right. Never mind. No, I would not want that. You're right.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I think logically it's the right thing to do because, men and women are made different. They don't compete against each other in sports as men or women. And so that biological advantage you can't suppress.
They had to do this.
Yep.
Like you said, like the whole bigger, faster, stronger. There's no way, and it was getting out of hand too. The transgender men, they were like dominating these women in these sports. It got to the point to where you had some of the women,
Transgender women.
actually women. Oh,
Yeah.
they were. It got to the point to where you had like these women like crying out, like to the point to where they like, look, this is unfair.
Yeah.
It
Skulls
was a matter of-
crushed, getting jaws
you can't-
broken,
like,
bones, like. Yeah,
That
man.
makes sense. It's this is the thing to do.
Yeah, they had to.
But if we didn't do it, we might as well have all men and women competing against each other on everything.
We already do.
I heard
All right.
I heard a comedian say it was funny when he said it, but it actually made sense. Can't remember who the comedian was, but he was basically saying they need to if they want to do that, and that's their choice to be transgender. Let the transgender community like have their own competition and let them compete against each other. I wonder if they'll do that.
It's somebody that would isolate them and then make them. Yeah,
that sounds like separate but equal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope. I mean, I think that's the phrase that we've used time and time again when we talk about this issue. It's really I understand the bill, but it's really a slippery slope.
Yep.
But I agree with it.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
because they're just some like you said, they're just different, man. Like that's an advantage. Like
it's an advantage.
what was that African or South Africa? What was the African? I forget which country in Africa she was from. No, but that was beating everybody in. Was it long distance running or whatever? And they were saying that her testosterone levels. She's been tested several times, and they ruled it is indeed a woman. She just built different, and all them was like, yo, I can't compete with her no more. Like I don't want to because I always lose. So it's just not. I don't want. If I had a daughter, I don't want my niece or any of my godchildren fighting or wrestling or playing football or basketball with someone that has elevated testosterone levels. It's just different.
Yeah.
Sorry.
1.
All right, and finally, Apple is reportedly testing a new feature that will allow iPhone users to unsend text messages. According to the Business Insider, these messages can be retracted through iMessage. Apparently, once it's done, a notification will be sent to the party saying that message was retracted. Gentlemen, would you? And I'm judged by my brunch boy partner here that you probably utilize this feature.
Yeah, I've sent some shit and I wish I could get back. So it would be nice to have that feature to be able to take that back, to take some of these text messages back because,
Especially drunk.
Oh man, especially drunk. Boy, I get to profess it. I don't know why you even like the nigga. Like he ain't. You know he don't do the dot. Yeah. It would be nice to take some of that back for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's not a new feature for phones or app or messaging services. You know, you can do it on
WhatsApp.
Facebook Messenger. You can do it on WhatsApp, and so. You know, they're getting aligned with the times. But, you know, those receipts that people are holding on to, they're about to be gone.
And that was first things first.
Ooh, excuse me. That's disgusting. We here at the Vexed Intellects love the ladies. And to show our appreciation for the ladies, we have a segment entitled You Glow Girl, where we highlight incredible feats performed by women. I'll go first. This week, I'd like to nominate Dr. Hadia Nicole Green. She became the first person to successfully cure cancer in mice using nanoparticle technology. Who's next?
All right. We did a deal already.
Yeah.
That's why we're laughing. I did her like a month ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You go, girl.
Hey, look. Part duh. It's all right. We did Megan Thee Stallion 4 times, so.
5.
Who's king?
All right. So I'll go next. My You Glow Girl for the week is Bobby Knight. She's named the permanent president of Miles College. She was interim president since 2019, August. Now she's permanent president. Bobby Knight.
All right, well, since I fucked up, Dr. Lori S. White was just named the 21st president of DePaul University, the first African-American woman president in the school's 180-plus year history. Ha!
Stay with one in the tuck, man. I like that. Yeah.
Let's see. My nominees would be
Producer Kyle over here coughing like he got that corona.
Do we need to get you a makeshift mask or something?
No, I'm good.
All right, no.
Oh.
Yo, so I went to a bar this weekend, man, and I was drinking. And, sorry to interrupt, by the way.
Okay.
And they went down the wrong pipe. And so I'm sitting over here coughing, trying not to get people to look at me like we looking at Kyle right now because I'm over there choking, hanging on for dear life. And I don't want these motherfuckers looking at me. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Same.
You got the plague.
Yeah.
That's how
Bubonic plague.
Oh, damn. let's see. I'm nominating Julia Gibson and Cornelia Gibson. They are two sisters that they created their own line of yoga mats. And I guess they're called Toned by Bagdom. They're the founders, and
I think I used that one last month. I'm sorry.
I'm like,
That's funny.
yeah, they actually they started with images of black women. They said they closely identify with that, but their goal is to represent all people.
Okay.
All right, and I will give my nomination to Valera Wallace, the mother of the late great Notorious B.I.G.
Who?
Valera Wallace.
Valletta.
Valletta. Yeah, I messed it up. Valletta Wallace.
Yeah, you hit that.
Yeah. And y'all let me keep doing it.
Thing is
You
that
got Tyronisha.
I promise you, against all the country, backwater, shout out ass crack names, correct. All the other names, checks them up.
You know what? And I didn't even think about it. Like, I didn't even think about it. You see, I repeated it. Like, anyway.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out who it was. I thought her name might have been Valor. What?
But when he said the late, I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I would like to give a shout out to her. And
Shout out to Miss Lady.
yeah, strong woman. And I know the anniversary of Notorious B.I.G. was this past week of his passing, so just want to give her a shout out.
Yeah,
If I get her name right next time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Valera.
Valera. I don't even know where that came from.
Ain't that a car?
All right, ladies.
I think so.
Valera?
Valero.
No, it's a gas station. It's a gas station. It's a gas station.
To all of our nominees, you did.
Wow.
That was a train wreck of you.
That was horrible. Oh, I feel so bad.
Talk about trimming our time down.
Oh. I'm gonna apologize to her on Twitter or something. I don't know. I feel
Yeah,
bad.
just tag her in the show.
Yeah.
So I want to play a clip for y'all that I saw on Faithful Black Male Association's page. Shout out the FBMA, Black Men Don't Cheat. That's right. Get y'all thoughts on this clip, and then I got a question to go with it.
Hell no. Fuck no.
So wait, my bad. No context.
Right. I'm like,
So yeah, my bad. Just jump right into it.
It's contagious.
Like, wait, what now?
Yeah. So yeah, Faithful Black Male Association posed a question accompanying this video, and they said, all jokes aside, this video provides proof that black men are regular victims of sexual assault. So the question that this gentleman was asking women, I guess this was in Miami at spring break or something, what if you asked your man for some sex and he turned you down? Like, what would be your response? And here are some of the responses. I'll start that over.
Hell no.
Her videos aren't that great.
wow.
Wow.
If you say no to me, I'm gonna just assume that you're gay or something.
Wow.
Wow.
So basically, what the ladies are saying is, once you see my DrawLs, it's going down.
Shout out ass cracks. So
I'm gonna take that one because I sent it off mic, but
yeah, would you like to expound, please?
Yes, please.
So Jared Deb said, oh no, go ahead.
Okay, we were just having a conversation, similar to this, where we were kind of discussing,
We're conversating.
were conversing, if you will, about what happens if you in the mood is about to go down and maybe your draws don't fit right, as we kind of talked about at the beginning of the show, and you know,
flapping in the wind.
maybe my little baggy, and then you know maybe
You've lost 50 pounds since you've gotten new draws.
I've lost 36 pounds since I've got new draws, so they're a little flappy. And so what if you know you about to close the deal? Was somebody gonna look at you crazy and be like, "Nah, I'm not doing it." I'm like, look, if we got to the point where my draws are coming down, it's going down, but I can understand how that would sound problematic.
Toxic masculinity.
And as Prince said, maybe a little rapey. So, I mean...
I wasn't going to say it on mic, but since you went there.
It wasn't my intent.
My draws come out.
But you see my draws,
But at that same token, just kind of reacting to
They better be clean if you're doing that. You're going that hard.
Yeah, well, yeah. Just got through Washington. Anyway, so the thing about it, you know, comment on that particular segment, because I want to get the attention off me, is that I don't understand why it has to be a position where we got to be looked at as gay or, oh, now I'm about to take this and everything else. Like
Let me add something else to that before you answer. So there was another gentleman that actually commented on this in the Faithful Black Men Association, retweeted it, but the gentleman said, definitely told a girl I wasn't trying to fuck. Fell asleep, then woke up from what I thought was a sex dream, getting head, and she was about to ride me. So the conversation was about consent.
Yeah.
Have any of you experienced anything like that, first of all? I have.
Waking up.
Yes, telling somebody no, and you know, falling asleep, and they trying to get you up
take it
in
in.
your sleep. Yeah. I've been there. You know. I don't,
Me too.
yeah. So what do y'all feel about that? Just with regards to maleness and consent.
Hey, this is an example of things that aren't equal in society, right?
Yeah.
Society's not equal.
Yeah.
You know, we have power over women. Doesn't mean they can't, like we described in the talking about the new law in Arizona, and so it's not like they can't overpower us to take advantage of us, but you know the laws are written for the protection of women in this regard. So,
But man, that's so much money.
but did you feel bad though when it happened?
Bad? No.
Taken
But I was like,
advantage
what the
of or
fuck?
upset?
Yeah, I was like, yo.
You still went in though, didn't you?
No.
I'm more so...
So it's happened to you only once?
No, it's happened more than once.
Yeah, I was about to say it's happened more than once. And
The
I mean,
particular time I'm talking about, though.
oh, okay. You felt violated.
Yes.
I mean, I guess you can feel. I mean, I feel violated when it happened to me, and even more so when I, you know, if I'm just not in the mood or something else, I'm working on something. We creating digital content, so we focus on different things. So there's times where I'm just not in the mood, and if my partner's not in the mood, I'm not going to be like, nah, you about to get this dick. I mean, that's not.
Unless your draws are wrong.
Unless my draws are off.
Unless your draws were showing.
Then,
Then she about to
50-50. I don't know. But no, seriously though. But seriously, I can't make that assumption. So why should the opposite sex be able to do that?
Sure.
Because naturally, it's almost like we're supposed to never, say no when it comes to that.
Right.
But do we think they're gay when they don't want to? That's
No.
the thing.
That's true. Yeah.
That was a stretch.
That is. That is.
That was a stretch. That was just out of anger.
Yeah.
Come on. What if you because maybe you just ain't doing it for me tonight. That night, you know what I'm saying?
Do we have the option of saying that you ain't doing it for me?
Oh, I mean,
just
whatever
extrapolate
you
on
do,
that.
Whatever you doing.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is that really, are women evolved enough to take I'm not in the mood or
No.
you're not doing it for me tonight?
We don't have that option because if that statement is made, then you're cut off for a long period of time.
Their feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
Their feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
but when from just looking at it, if you're used to always being the prey in a sense, sexually and romantically, if you I know I am fucking it up. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm sorry, everybody. But just to get my point across, if you're used to always being sought after,
pursued,
there you go. If you're always used to that, when you want it and you're the aggressor and someone says no to you, then it's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
All right. What else you got?
I'm trash today.
Well, thank you. So, speaking of consent, did you guys see where Bill Clinton said that his affair with Monica Lewinsky was he just did that to help him with his anxiety?
Hey.
He actually said that out loud.
Yes.
He said that.
What's wrong with this guy, man?
So it's in a documentary premiering on Hulu. Premiered on the Hillary documentary. The ex-president in the upcoming Hulu series Hillary about his wife likens working in the Oval Office to being a boxer staggering around after a 15-round prize fight that's been extended to 30 rounds. And here's something that'll take your mind off of it for a while. Clinton says of his 2-year tryst. I like the word tryst with Lewinsky that began in 1995 when she was 22. He says everybody's life has pressures and disappointments, terrors, fears, or whatever. Things I did to manage my anxieties for years. What are your thoughts on that? Yes, he did say that on the documentary on camera. As you can imagine, he is getting flamed for it. But what do y'all think about that?
We knew it.
Well, did you know that it was
because of that?
Because of his anxiety. That's a millennial.
Sound like some shit Kyle was saying. Some producer Kyle.
He's the leader of the free world. I mean, that's a lot of pressure.
Hey, look.
Yeah.
Hey, and Hillary was probably off with her career and shit.
I can't imagine the amount.
Not taking care of home.
I can't imagine the amount of stress that comes along with being the president of the United States on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
So for him to come out and say anxiety, it kind of makes.
So I guess I wanted to pose the question to see if y'all are shooting him some bail on that. I think we've all dealt with anxiety to an extent. And I mean, one of the things that they teach you in therapy is, to find your own coping mechanisms.
Usually a positive outlet, whatever that is.
Yeah, some kind of outlet or something. So he's saying, I was in the office. I had that anxiety. This helped me release. Now, it sucks that involves toxic masculinity.
Yeah, I take that.
It's true. So, but what are y'all thoughts, man, on that? Are y'all shooting him some bail on that? Maybe.
I kind of am.
Okay.
I got to.
I
got to.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate him being. Open. He being honest, but you want him to make up something else, lie and say some bullshit, and then we be like, oh hell no. But either way, at this point, anything he says is, people are gonna look at him like, oh, so,
especially in the Me Too era.
Yeah, so I think he should have just let that die. Like, is he trying to stay top of mind? Is he feeling a little bit?
It might be producers asking.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure that was probably the producers like, hey, bro, we got to go there. You know what I'm saying? We got because this is about Hillary. This is basically a
going
document.
there and saying, I control my anxiety by banging other chicks. I don't know.
But I don't know what he could
JFK was his hero.
Yeah.
I don't know what else he could have said.
Shout out Mass's finest.
Yeah, there's nothing else you can really say. Like, whatever you say, it's going to be scrutinized. Like T.O. was saying.
Whatever you say is going to be dismissed by a certain crowd, let's be honest, and by panderers. That's that man's truth. That's my thinking. Like I said, none of us know what it's like to be in that position. Yeah. It's easy to tell another man, what he should or shouldn't do, man. That's why I never subscribe to that. Well, a real man does this, especially from women. No disrespect, but you don't know what it's like to be a man. And then from other men, I question that because I look at what's the platform, what are you selling, and what's your reason, and not that he's
in your perspective,
right? Because it's different. Like when someone like Charlemagne, says, "Well, man, I used to be a cheater. Here's why." You know what I'm saying? It offers that, but talking about another man's situation, like you don't know, you're not that man.
Exactly.
You can only speak for your reasoning for doing something. You can't speak for anyone else's. So I saw him getting a lot of backlash, and I mean, maybe deservedly so, right? Who are we, But it's his truth, And if that's what he used to cope with it, and she consented to it. He was married. That's wrong. He lied, when asked under oath about it. So. He dealt with that. He was impeached as a result of that. So that's on his record forever. But
in this new world, though,
yeah,
I don't know if it's wrong because he's married. He and his wife might have had an understanding. We just didn't know about it, or was it probably wouldn't have been accepted back then either. Anyway,
sure.
But his wife might have known. Hillary might have known.
And I guess we'll find out when we watch the Hulu series.
It's not an ad, by the way, but
I was about to say.
All right. And lastly, speaking of more about consent of your hand, masturbation boosts your immune system and raises your white blood cells. Speaking of coronavirus, your white blood cell count, helping you fight the infection and illness, guys. So masturbating will actually help you fight off the coronavirus.
I've never been healthier.
Coronavirus is about to get. Well, you on a roll today.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Boy, shooting 12 or 13 from 3. But yeah, guys, coronavirus is about to get beat off. Masturbation boosts your immune system and raises your white blood cell count, helping you fight off infection.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the more you know. Boom, 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 boom. That's all I got.
I'm straight. I'm immune.
Hey, man, I'll see you guys in about 8 minutes.
Jergen's about to sell out.
Hey. Got mine.
You still using jerkins?
I do it.
You still using jerkins?
Yeah, hell yeah. I'd use it for that.
Really?
Nah.
Yeah. What y'all use?
I thought, isn't jerkins like water-based?
Yeah.
I use it for the strap. I mean, for... I use jerkins.
Hey, man.
What y'all use? Lubriderm, Equate.
All natural. Coconut oil.
Coconut oil.
I actually, I use Vaseline. I use Vaseline. A little Vaseline goes a long way.
Wait, did we cover this before with the coconut oil?
Natural product, man.
Hey, coconut oil.
Hey, man. Hey.
I can't knock it.
Imagine a nigga dipping into the family.
It's mine.
3 fingers.
You got like a whole jar.
Yeah, like 3 fingers he dipping down. And then he gonna rub his hands.
It's my job.
You got one for the kitchen, you got one for the bathroom, and you got one personal. Yeah.
Not like that you cook with. Now, you probably could cook with this, but this actually comes. This in the health and beauty section in Sprout. This is the shit in the jar, not in the plastic.
The cooking would come in the jar too.
No, well yeah, but this is where you like the hair products and all that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got a special one, so regular coconut oil would
if you
do.
go in somewhere like
This one
Whole
don't
Foods-
chafe as much. That's why I like this one. I like the extra version. Of it.
If you go in like Sprouts or Whole Foods,
The last version of it.
and you at the health and beauty products, with the soaps and the
Yeah. They come in a little bottle like
Oh man. So this it's all natural over
Maybe
here,
I need to
man.
masturbate more, man. I feel left out of this conversation.
You gotta up.
I feel quite at home. Yeah. Excellent.
Well, all right, that's all I got.
Hey man,
Glad that's over.
I'm trying to let the people know some alternatives out there, man, just in case.
We trying to save lives.
All I would say is
Hashtag
that
Jergens gang. I'm down. Where we at?
if it's in the hair product aisle, it might have some more additives in there though.
No, it's in the
Yeah, you can't cook either.
it's in the health and beauty, like where the
You can't cook.
Are additives bad for?
I don't know, but I wouldn't want any additives on my skin.
no, ain't no additives in it. This natural. I'm too into that.
This week's episode is brought to you.
Coconut oil.
What brand? I'm sorry.
It just say coconut oil on there.
I can't remember. I get.
I just know the color. They got that purple on it. That's all I know.
It got a blue label. It got a blue
The one
label.
with the purple on it. Yeah.
Now you don't remember all of a sudden. We got you.
No,
Yeah, boy.
good shit though.
Well, all right. Jameson St. James. What we got?
Okay, guys. I guess it's time for the main topic.
Oh,
We've been holding on.
please say it like that.
We've been holding
Okay,
on
guys.
to. Hey, bud.
Hey guys.
Time for the main topic.
Hey
No.
Hey, you guys.
So we want to talk a little bit about. We've been holding on to this for a couple weeks, thinking about it for a couple weeks. So we're going to talk about socialism, communism, and capitalism, kind of where we fit in. Because, if you see over the last few weeks, Bernie has taken a nosedive in the polls, partially because he's characterized as a socialist. And I think that's been his sticking point for moving forward, with those people that are not the younger voters. So first I want to start with defining, of course, socialism, communism. So socialism is political, social, and economic philosophy encompassing a range of economic and social systems. They're characterized by social ownership of the means of production and workers' self-management of enterprises. Of course, it includes political theories and movements associated with those systems. Social ownerships can be public, collective, cooperative, or of equity. And of course, while no single definition encapsulates many types of socialism, social ownership is the one common element. It aims to circumvent the inefficiencies and crises traditionally associated with the capital accumulation and the profit system in capitalism. So if we take a step back from that, it essentially just, for me, it's like the society controls the government. The society controls production and all entities, etc. So the second one we wanted to talk about today was communism. I think, unfortunately, communism and socialism, they get merged because of the timing of which they became popular. Communism, of course, this ideology was founded by Karl Marx in 1848. The socialist doctrines, there were multiple folks who had theories on socialism. They also were founded in the 19th century. And so because these philosophies that are kind of for the people, by the people, were founded around the same time, they do often get merged. So communism is a philosophical, social, political, economic ideology and movement whose ultimate goal is the establishment of a communist society. And by communist society, that means that the production is owned by the many. There aren't any social classes, so everyone is on the same level. And then the money and the state are all controlled by the people. And of course, communism, if you take a step further, it is a system in which goods are owned in the common good and are available to all as needed.
Right.
I think as needed is the most important word in that phrase. And then another step is it's a theory that advocates the elimination of private property. So there's a couple things there. As needed in communism when it comes to that social ownership, who determines that? That's always the big question. Like, who's going to tell me when I need bread or when I need water or when I need food? And in the piece about private property, the government owns all the property. And so the other thing that you'll notice with communism is it is often collapsed with fascism. Fascism can be considered communist because it's in theory designed for the people. But the difference is fascism includes an authoritarian suffering succotash or a dictator,
Right.
like someone who has that ultimate say, and it's a forcible suppression of opposition. So if there are other folks who are running against them, like we see in China, like we would see in North Korea, is also, there's some fascism there as well. And so, a couple quick questions about socialism. Well, first, let's take a step back. When I talk through a little bit of a high-level overview of socialism and communism, what comes to mind? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, for me, communism, I always think about the long lines of bread in like the former Soviet Union. So like that's like as soon as someone says the word communism, that's like the first thing I think about. People in a dark, waiting in line for like a loaf of bread, and then it's drag. But I mean, and I don't know if it's
In the dark.
Yeah, I don't know why it's dark.
Basically, it's like a Air Jordan drop or a Supreme drop. People camping out.
Yeah. It's gluten
For bread.
It's gloomy as fuck. People
See, they
cold.
dropping that gluten free tonight.
Yeah, like it just looks so bad. And I don't know if it's probably. I mean, hell, I grew up in the '80s, so
It's propaganda.
It's propaganda that's just been infused in my head, but that's what I think about.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's where that available to all as needed comes in. Is right. It's like it's available to everyone, but who determines when you get it? And so often you're not going to get that bread. And it's hard to come by that bread. Everybody's going to get a loaf, but some people might need a loaf and a half.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Why you like?
Spicy. Yeah. What about you?
We get a loaf.
Brown Skittle.
Loaf and a half.
You think about communism?
Yeah, just socialism, communism, both of them. Like when you hear the definitions and the overall, like what comes to mind? How do you feel?
Socialism is when I hear that, I'm thinking about naturally like you living in a society where everyone's able to work and make a living and and kind of coexist amongst each other, and you don't really have these separations of people where you got this higher class,
The uber rich.
yeah.
Like no Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, and it's like no, no like real division, and
Everybody gets an equal
everybody get an equal share of the pie, type of deal. And of course, you're gonna have your more, people that's on a different class, but I think of that kind of naturally comes to mind, when I hear that word.
burning. I think of burning.
You're right. Also propaganda, right? So it's interesting, like what you just said about everybody having a piece. That reminds me more of communism because everybody has a piece, but socialism.
Tonanisha or whatever. Everybody gets a piece. That's fine. Okay.
So
I guess you.
That was Tyrannical House.
But I'm thinking along the lines like Jared said, like someone's dictating like when and where you kind of get what you need, So like just to take a little step back, socialism exists today, right? There are socialist countries, like Denmark, for example. There's only so wealthy you're gonna get, and then you're taxed so highly after a certain point, it suppresses the desire to grow and do more or better because you might make 10 million but only bring home the first $500,000 you may only get taxed 20%, but the last million you might get taxed 95%, and so there's really no with them. There's nothing in it for you. So
Brunch Boy. Any thoughts? Socialism?
And is Japan like that? Like, the more I talk to people that's from there.
Japan. Every time I hear that, I think it was Street Fighter. Sorry. Yeah, socialism. I think of I think good and bad, because I actually have always considered myself an independent when it comes to political affiliation. I have some liberal views when it comes to socialist matters like healthcare. I think that healthcare should be a right. Yeah. I think that everyone, we're too rich in this country for children to not have healthcare, to veterans to not have healthcare. That's just ridiculous to me. As these, big pharma and insurance companies rake in insane profits. Other side of the coin, though, with that, I believe in capitalism as well. I believe that if you are innovative and if you create something like Jeff Bezos that everyone uses and everyone benefits from and jobs are created for, there should be no cap on what you make. Now, the whole tax thing, that gets tricky as far as, because we talk about socialist programs and subsidies, a lot of subsidies that these big oil companies and all of them get. That's basically socialism. Let's keep it a bean.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't talk about it that way. The right doesn't, but that's socialism. That's you're giving these people incentives, the job creators. But it's welfare. It's socialism.
But same thing goes for farmers, right?
Yeah.
Sugar farmers.
Yeah.
All those farmers that corn export
absolutely
products. They get subsidized. So that they can be profitable because they can't compete on that global scale.
I saw some shit today that pissed me off, actually. Yeah. Cool. With regards to that.
Check it out. Only thing I was going to add while you're looking that up is that, you talk about the veteran, healthcare, you talk about, kids' healthcare. We've got Medicaid, we've got Medicare, we've got Social Security. Those are all socialist programs. Now, in their design and in their intent.
Yeah. Yeah. Then FDR. A lot of this started with FDR, right? And they call he called a lot of flack. Right?
Yeah. So no, it's actually part of the New Deal.
Yeah.
What I'd say, and actually, a fun fact for today that I had on my backup fun facts. He gave his first fireside chat today. To reassure folks during the Depression. And my question was, I wonder what impact that would have if Donald Trump gave a fireside chat today.
He gives them every day on Twitter.
Exactly.
But they're just vitriolic. Your boy just showed me what kind of coconut oil he uses
he put it on camera too
to beat his meat.
Oh, shit.
So to go to that, as far as what Jason, you beat your meat with Jason's.
Wow.
All right, man, I'm about to go ahead and beat off with some Jason's.
Jason smoothing coconut.
Yeah.
If the producers of Jason's and Mr.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, man.
This week's episode is brought to you by Jason. Smooth.
Beat your meat with Jason's.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
Ingredients. Coco's Nucifera.
But so to go to what you just said about farmers getting subsidies, I saw something today that actually pissed me off. So Tariq Nasheed had posted a tweet from Representative Nydia Velasquez. She's California. She said, Asian-owned small businesses have suffered due to stigma associated with the coronavirus. I've joined with Rep. Judy Chu and Rep. Grace Meng in authoring legislations to make emergency loans available to businesses harmed by this outbreak. So, politicians are already discussing giving, Asian Americans a form of essentially tangible reparations for having their businesses affected by the stigma of coronavirus. That actually pissed me off. I just wanted to mention that. But anyway, communism, I think of, like you said, Russia. I think of China. I think of control. I think of
Cuba.
Yeah, Cuba. Well, but Anyway, get out of there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love Cuba. I love Cuba. I was just
Yeah.
throwing it out there because
it was
you
a
know,
communist
like
regime.
Russia,
Yeah, no,
the
it was a
USSR. We talk about China,
USSR.
and North Korea. We
Street
think of
fighter.
them as like,
Yeah. But,
hands off. But
Yeah.
Cuba now we feel slightly different.
yeah, but I think of communism. I think of control.
Yeah.
Yeah, control. So, yeah, just to you
Yeah.
asked what I thought of those.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so if you think about it, a lot of the negativity that comes with the isms, socialism, communism, is really more in the communist bucket. That being said, why are we so afraid of socialism?
That's a good question. I think of the question I was going to try to ask, because a lot of times that's the big knock on Bernie. Like I said, when I thought about socialism, I think about Bernie, and as Prince was saying, like, and I kind of agree with his views. Like I don't, socialist programs do work in the United States, as you mentioned, and I think there are certain benefits of having a socialist perspective in a capitalist market. So I think having a kind of a hybrid, little balance is a good thing. So why the moment someone says the S word is, I don't know about
passe,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Because CEOs of insurance companies have to get bonuses. And the loud minority with regards to that's why people vote against their own self-interest, because maybe one day I'll be rich.
Yeah.
Like Big Pharma and all of them. So if we tax them now, what'll happen when I get rich? I'd like to get some of those bonuses untaxed also. I'd like to get some of
Do you
that
think it's
money.
that? Or do you think they're just uninformed?
I think both, honestly.
Yeah,
Because
probably a
I
combination
know
of
people
both.
with mentality that would do that. Like, I won't be rich in a couple years anyway.
They're
So I think both.
aspirational. I mean, that's to be
both.
American. It's to be aspirational, right? Like, this is the land where you can, manifest some shit. You can get out the
Push it to
mud,
the limit.
as they say. Yeah, so when I get mine, shit, I want to be able to benefit from this shit that they benefiting from too. So I keep the system as is. Fuck it. So, because when I get mine, I don't want you to tax my shit.
Fair.
But uninformed as well. I agree with you. I think that
Uninformed is
it's
really up there, though. Yeah,
because
definitely.
you'll never get most of the people that vote that way will never get there.
Yeah.
They'll never get there.
Well, also, and you got to think about it, right? They're uninformed, and the system is set up as a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've only got two options.
I watched The Banker yesterday, and they talked about it was a quote out from The Banker, where and go see that it's mired in some controversy, but it's important film, I think, about two
I didn't know that was out.
brothers. Yeah,
I didn't know
Yeah.
that either. I
it's
heard them
only
talking
playing
about
at United Artists.
Oh.
So there was controversy. One of the producers was the son of the main character, Anthony Mackie's character, and he allegedly is accused of molesting two of his next wife's children.
Wow.
So that's why, and they came out and had a big fuss about it. So that's why no major studio. So Apple ended up independently putting it out.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's why it's
Okay.
not
Okay.
in the major theaters.
Gotcha.
So it's in small, limited runs. But I watched it yesterday, and I thought it was amazing. But
The story sounds.
it's dope. It's a true story.
amazing.
It's
Yeah,
a true
man.
story.
I
Yeah,
love-
two black
love
men.
two
Check it out,
stories
man.
like that.
Check it. This
Yeah.
ain't an ad or nothing, but Samuel L. Jackson, to Jameson's point, had made a comment. He said, even though it's a rigged game, it's still a fun one. So like you play the game knowing that it's the odds are stacked against you, but it's still fun trying to navigate through it and figure it out. It's a game.
Yeah,
It's
the
a
money
game.
game.
It's
You
a-
know,
yeah,
the
yeah,
money game.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that translates to the political side too, right? We know the game is fixed,
Yep.
right? We've only got two viable options
Yep.
every time.
Yep.
You've got Green parties, you've got Tea parties, you've got all these, corner cases. But in reality, you're only going to be pigeonholed two ways: Democrat, Republican.
Yeah.
Right. And so, unless we have some major revolution where there's someone who comes and is really speaking for the people, which is possible, we've only got those options, and we're kind of stuck with them. So,
Yeah, people don't like the. Well, in Bernie's case, I don't think people like the idea of his robbing Peter to pay Paul approach, and
They liked it coming from Elizabeth Warren, though.
Man.
yeah, that's true. Maybe they just don't like it.
They don't like Bernie.
Because they said
They just don't.
because they said she's taxing 1% of every
Yeah.
dollar
Yep.
over net worth over what, 50 million, over $1 million.
Something like that.
Yeah, but whatever it was, it sounds like it makes sense. It's 1%, 1%,
Yeah.
and she's gonna fund all these programs. So anyway,
Yeah.
so when you look at the polls and exit polls and Facebook, Twitter, text message groups, you see a lot of the younger people, Generation Z, really being Bernie supporters, and they back the programs.
Right.
You think it's because they're lazy? And they don't believe in working hard, they believe in working smart? Or because they're informed?
I don't think it's because they're lazy. Now I know that. Well,
I think it's a combination.
yeah,
of both.
that generation gets a bad rap for being lazy, and
Yeah, I think so too.
And some of them they are lazy, but I mean, just being real. But I do think that when you are, it's kind of like how the 80s propaganda has affected what I think about things as far as like socialism and communism. I think hearing about the 1% for so long from their perspective, I feel like, that pushes them to kind of, gravitate towards socialism. I mean,
I can see that,
yeah.
but don't you think? I think Generation Z has been coddled. They haven't had to experience life for real.
Yeah.
Make those hard choices.
Sorry.
Producer.
Have those, they haven't been in a situation where it's either I'm going to make this happen or I'm going to fail. Like, I think the way that we were raised to do better and lift our kids up and have them, I don't have any kids, but the people around me, it's like they don't struggle or have those struggles that we had. Like, middle class, there is really a black middle class now, where there wasn't when we were coming up. It was like,
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
I've actually had this conversation with my co-parent. So
Okay.
when we talk about Brooklyn, and even all of the kids, the thing about it is when how we grew up, yeah, we didn't have everything that we wanted, but we always had what we needed for the most part. And then you get to that point where you're like, what, I wasn't able to take karate. I wasn't able to do this. I wasn't able to have this toy, have this. So what? If I have certain means, I want to provide for my kids. And I think what we did as parents, and at least I can just talk from my perspective. We went to like one extreme to another. So instead of like, now that you might have some means in order to do it, yeah, let's give all our kids all these opportunities. Let's do this for them, and that creates a child to be coddled. And so in that sense, now they feel entitled. They feel, and again, for speaking in general terms, but they feel entitled and they feel like things should come to them, and I guess that would gravitate you towards socialism.
yeah.
Did I make up for Mrs. Wallace?
No.
Damn it.
All right. Anybody got anything else on this? Thank you, sir. That was dope. I think it was important to break that down. There clearly seems to be people that lack an understanding of what socialism truly is. So I think that it's important to explain that, even though your boy continues to get bludgeoned in the polls in the primary. I think it's important to explain what it is, because I think a lot of the disconnect with him is a lack of understanding. So
Do your research.
Please.
Simple Google will take you to the pros and cons of capitalism and socialism.
Yeah. I mean, no, definitely good talk, because you're right. because they came up around the same time, you do tend to get those confused and confused concepts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's definitely a great conversation to have.
Well, all right, folks, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you were here with us, and we greatly appreciate that. Until next time, stay blessed, stay vexed. It's the Vexed Intellects.
Get vexed.
Peace.
One.
Ow.